Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Here is the points in advance of what we're going to be talking about. If Iran starts selling oil for gold, it could drop the value of the dollar. If Trump splits any part of Israel, like on June the 5th, we could very easily see a newspaper headline that says Omar ushers in Palestinian state. The next day, America could see a New Madrid earthquake, as Shane Warren was shown. The next day, the newspaper headline could read, Catastrophe Hits America. That would fill 2 of the 4 points of Shane Warren's vision. That would fulfill 2 of the 4 parts of Leslie's prophecy. That would be judgment on America. Then we would see 7-fold miracles in America as Shane Warren was shown. Then Prophecy Club would begin to hold 7-fold miracle crusades in 100 cities all across America as God has shown me in a dream and a vision. In 1980, Dmitri was given the directive that judgment had been pronounced on America, and that he was to go to America and give them a warning from God. In 1984, Dmitri arrived in America. The angel said, I brought you to this country, Dmitri, because I want to wake up a lot of people. I love this country, I love the people of this country, and I want to save them, but America will burn. How can I save them? I can't speak their language. Who knows me? How will they call me? The angel said, don't worry, I will be ahead of you. I will make great healings among the American people. We think that is yet to be fulfilled. You will go to television stations, radio stations, and churches, tell them everything I tell you. Don't try to hide anything. If you try to hide anything, I will punish you because America will burn. And I continue to carry that message, and I don't hide anything. The fall of America will start with an internal revolution in America started by the communists. Some of the people will start fighting against the government. The government will be busy with internal problems. Then from the oceans, Russia, Cuba, Nicaragua, Central America, Mexico, and 2 other countries will attack. The Russians will bombard the nuclear missiles in America, and America will burn. God will raise up China, Japan, many of the nations. They'll go against the Russians, defeat the Russians, back them to the gates of Paris, where they sign a peace treaty, but they make the Russians their leader. Under the leadership of the Russians, all the world goes down to attack Israel. That's Armageddon. Messiah returns in the clouds and defeats the armies of the earth. Now let's jump to April 15, 2002. Leslie was told in a dream, this is the summary points of the dream, we call it Arafat in the hospital. And it would be, war is about to break out in Israel. Israel will give the Palestinians a state. Oil is going to come forth. It will cause the Jewish people to fight back for their land. I knew this could very easily start a global war. I saw a woman reading a small newspaper like a Jerusalem Post. I heard her say with an accent, Arafat is in the hospital. Leslie was told that Arafat would die in the hospital. That was fulfilled 11/11/04 at 3:30 in the a.m., so that is a confirmed prophecy. Israel will give the Palestinians a state, but it'll be a temporary arrangement to give the Jews enough time to get their armed forces prepared. Oil will come forth quickly. The discovery of large amounts of oil will make the Jewish people willing to fight for their land. Israel and America will go against most of the rest of the Arab world. It will lead to a major war, almost like the whole world will get involved in this war. It will include many countries. November 15, 2015. Headline, The Economist, Black Gold Under the Golan. Notice in this article that there is no proof that this company has actually found anything. That doesn't make any difference. What matters is that Israel thinks that massive amounts of oil have been found in the Golan. The article went on to say, Israel and American oilmen believe, did you hear that word, believe, that they have discovered a bonanza in this most inconvenient of sites. After 3 test drillings, notice they say test drillings, they didn't say they actually found a thing. They go on to say, this Genie Energy Company says that they think that they have found an oil reservoir with the potential, hear those words, potential of billions of barrels. They didn't say they found a thing, but Israel believes that they have found oil. That's all that counts. March 25th, 2019. Headline, Trump formally recognized Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights. March 31, 2019. Headline, Syria threatens to unleash tunnel warfare against Israel. Same day, different headline. World Israel News headline, Syria vowed to attack Israel unless it withdraws from the Golan Heights. Does that sound like war to you? Certainly does to me. It sounds like the first 2 points of that prophecy have already come to pass. So the summary of prophecy so far is, when Israel gives the Palestinians a state, when Israel thinks it has found massive amounts of oil, a great world war will start. Israel may be forced by Trump to give the Palestinians a state on, about, or around June 5th of this year. Israel thinks massive amounts of oil have been discovered in the Golan since 2015. Now, going on. Headlines. This is January 22 of 06. Leslie said she heard in the night the audible voice of God speak the words, Israel refuses to help America. Then I heard the following headlines in my heart, she says. This was the order in which Stan, that's me, believe they will happen, not necessarily the order in which they will happen. Omer ushers in Palestinian state. I'll say it again. Omer ushers in Palestinian state. Catastrophe hits America. One of America's greatest times of need. Israel refuses help to America. Israel is attacked. America sends troops. Chaos reigns as Americans protest help to Israel. Then she heard my voice quoting Dimitri Duduman, the fall of America will start with an internal revolution. Here's the point. If Omer is talking about the counting of the Omer are the 49 days between first fruits and Pentecost. The counting of the Omer ends on Pentecost. This year, Pentecost is on June the 9th. Now, these are revised words. I've summarized this vision so it sounds and flows better for radio, but I did not change any of the points of it. July 10, 2012, Pastor Shane Warren said he was watching television and it turned into a vision of the future. He says a weather broadcast appeared and the news anchor said the most amazing thing is going on right now. It's tragic. Normally hurricanes hit on the coastlines, but there's a hurricane spreading across America. He showed a satellite image of America from the north, south, east, and west. It spread all across America. Then the scene changed to a news reporter in the eye of the storm. The wind was blowing violently. He said, this is amazing. This is not a natural storm. This is not normal. It's raining. He reached down, picked up a fistful of dollar bills. It's raining dollar bills. It's almost like they're worthless. They're worthless. It was raining worthless dollars. Then the scene changed back to the anchor. He said, ladies and gentlemen, another tragedy, did you hear that? Another tragedy just hit America, meaning as a financial catastrophe hits, also an earthquake hits. The New Madrid Fault in the heartland of America has just had a major earthquake. Immediately, devastation was shown all over the heartland of America along the New Madrid earthquake fault, caused entire cities to crumble. I heard a booming voice speak from behind me saying, they divided my land, now I will divide their land. In the vision, I knew he was speaking of Israel. The scene changed. I was taken to a room in the Middle East. India, Syria, Indonesia, Turkey, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Egypt, Russia, and China were all there. These world leaders were discussing how to devalue the dollar of America by trading oil for gold. They decided that they would begin to trade oil for gold. The devaluing of the dollar caused major rioting in the streets of America. I saw silver, not gold, being drastically increased in value. Riots all across America. People were rioting in the streets. On their signs, it was written, give us our entitlements. Then the scene changed. At the same time, I saw the church arise with healing in their wings. I saw God prospering greatly, many acquiring things of great wealth and a wealth transfer coming into the hands of believers. Churches became cities of refuge. The body of Christ stood up like a mighty sleeping giant in the earth and began to minister. People were coming to them. Signs, wonders, miracles poured out all over America. I saw America being shaken as the worldly could now no longer go to the government for help. They had to go to the church. Entire cities became cities of refuge. There was life, safety, peace, and presence of God in the cities. It was a two-sided coin. As judgment hit, so did God's miracles. Headline, Israeli newspaper leaks terms of Trump's deal of the century. Middle East peace plan, dated 5/8/2019. Supposedly, this is truly the Middle East peace plan, but this is a floating balloon to see if anybody is going to shoot it down, to see what the complaints would be. Probably this is the peace plan, but we'll find out June the 5th. But the point is still the same. It goes on to say the main points of the U.S. President Donald Trump's much-derided plan for the Middle East, the so-called, quote, deal of the century, were leaked by a Hebrew-language news outlet in Israel yesterday. Israel Hayom published the main points of the deal from a leaked document circulated by the Israeli Foreign Ministry. The U.S. has said it will reveal its deal after the Muslim month of fasting comes to an end. That would be June the 5th. The main points of the agreement put together by Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner, who has extensive interest in Israel and its settlements, proposed by the U.S. administration are as follows. Now, keep in mind, it is rumored that Trump has not seen this document at all, but he trusts his son-in-law Jared Kushner to put it together. A tripartite agreement will be signed by Israel, the PLO, and Hamas, and a Palestinian state will be established. Did you hear that? A Palestinian state will be established that will be called New Palestine and will be established in the occupied West Bank and Gaza Strip. That would be Judea, Samaria, and Gaza. With the exception of the settlements, Israel will release Palestinian prisoners gradually over the course of the next 3 years under the deal. The settlement documents in the occupied West Bank, which are illegal under international law, would form part of Israel. Here it is. Jerusalem will not be divided, but it is to be shared by Israel and the New Palestine, with Israel maintaining general control. Now, does that sound like Israel is being divided or not? Now, it specifically says Jerusalem is not going to be divided, but it would be shared by Israel and the New Palestine. As I said in yesterday's broadcast, if Mexico were to say, well, no, we're not going to divide Texas, but the United States and Mexico will share ownership and control of Texas, would you say that that is dividing Texas? I think most Texans would say absolutely. Well, it's the same thing there. In other words, I'll say it again, they are planning on dividing Israel according to this document. Consequences. There are consequences in this particular deal. If Hamas or any Palestinian bodies refuse this deal, the U.S. will cancel all of its financial support to the Palestinians and pressure other countries to do the same. If, on the other hand, Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas signs the deal, but Hamas and Islamic Jihad do not agree to it, a war would be waged on the Gaza Strip with the full backing of the U.S. However, if Israel refuses the deal, the U.S. would cease its financial support. The U.S. currently pays $3.8 billion a year to support Israel. It is rumored that Trump has not seen this deal, but has left it in the hands of his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Kushner says he will release the deal on June 5th. Now, in times past, when America has gone against Israel, God hits America the very next day. So if Iran starts selling oil for gold, it could harm the value of the dollar. If Trump splits any part of Israel in June, the next day America could see a New Madrid earthquake, as Shane Warren was shown in his vision. We could very easily see the newspaper headline says Omer ushers in Palestinian state. Now let's talk about sanctions. May 8th, 2018, Trump abandons Iran nuclear deal he long scorned. May 2 of 2019, Trump cancels exemptions from U.S. sanctions for all nations expire, stopping all nations who do business with America from purchasing oil from Iran. That would include China, India, Japan, South Korea, and Turkey. May 8, 2019, this was a surprise to us all. Trump issued a new executive order imposing additional sanctions on Iran's iron, steel, aluminum, and copper. So basically, we're talking about Trump is going to shut down the nation of Iran, kill about $75 billion of profit coming into the nation. And at that point, that leaves three choices for Iran. Iran can basically bend the knee to Trump, stop their nuclear activities, or two, fall as a nation, losing their $75 billion in estimated profits, or three, begin to sell Iranian oil for gold. Which one do you think they'll choose? Bend the knee to Trump, fall as a nation, or begin to sell Iranian oil for gold? My guess is number three. Now let's talk about arrests, because that comes into play also. In November 2017, a man by the name of Huber was hired to investigate sex trafficking and corruption in America. He hired 470 dogged investigators. They began filing sealed indictments. Normally, the U.S. has from 150 to 350 sealed indictments across the nation at any one time. Now, an indictment is like an arrest warrant, but it's sealed, so the guilty don't know that they're in trouble yet. I ran across this back when there were 4,000 sealed indictments. Now, I spotted it because Terry Bennett had prophesied the following. I saw in the governmental area that we will go through a dramatic change in our government. There would be a time of anarchy and chaos. For a while, America will have a fractional government, which means basically our government will come down to the state level because of the military stepping in and having to seize control of our federal government. You'd call it a coup, but in all honesty, it will be to help our nation. This is why the military will step in. I believe that we are now on the verge of these things happening. Lawlessness and chaos was shown to me in civil unrest. And he said, when the checks from our government stop coming to the people, the chaos will ensue. Terry says that Gabriel told him that America will fall in the year 2021. Now, I put all of this on the radio in a program dated January 23rd of 2018. The title on YouTube is, Are 44,000 Marines About to Arrest 10,000 U.S. Leaders? It went viral. I just checked, it now has 217,000 views. A few months later, I ran across Q, which was a confirming voice. Now, I don't believe that Q is President Trump, but I do believe he is physically close enough to him to touch the president's desk on a daily basis. May 2 of 2019, this is Q's last post. He says, you are witnessing the systematic destruction of the old guard. May, 2019, parenthesis, kickoff, parenthesis, start, parenthesis, offense. Enjoy the show. Q, meaning Q is saying that the arrests will begin in May 2019. Now, will they? I don't know, but that's what he's saying. So what do you suppose would happen if just Bill and Hillary Clinton were arrested, jailed, and or executed for crimes? Would you say that there would probably be an internal revolution in America? Anarchy? Chaos? Okay, now let's pose another question. What do you suppose would happen if Bill, Hillary, and 94,000 other bad guys, many of which are congressmen, both Republicans and Democrats, many of them big-named, very beloved, many of them even sports owners, some very, very loved by many people. What if they're all arrested in the same week, flown off into the night to Prison Island, tried in military tribunals, in less than 4 months, sentences carried out, and many are possibly even executed, not to mention others put in jail never to be seen again? What do you suppose would happen? What would be the reaction of the left when their friends and their neighbors have been carted off into the night, some of them even executed? What do you think would happen? An internal revolution? Okay, now let's go on to another topic. China. May 10, 2019. Trump has increased the tariffs on $20 billion worth of Chinese goods. They went up from 10 to 25%. Yes, China has vowed to retaliate, and yes, trade talks still continue. But could part of the Chinese retaliation be trading oil for gold and start dumping the dollar? China might start dumping dollars along with 9 other nations: India, Syria, Indonesia, Turkey, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Egypt, and Russia, as Shane Warren was shown in the vision. The world would no longer need as many dollars and could begin to flood the market with excess dollars, dropping the value of the dollar, potentially fulfilling Shane Warren's vision of dollars blowing in the wind as worthless as leaves. So, what do the prophecies say? When Israel thinks it has found massive amounts of oil, Israel will fight for the land. When Israel gives the Palestinians a state, it will lead to a world war. When Israel gives the Palestinians a state, the dollar will be worthless as leaves blowing in the wind. Due to China, India, Syria, Indonesia, Turkey, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Egypt, and Russia trading oil for gold. About that time, a massive earthquake, so the prophecy says, will hit the New Madrid fault. Could that bring on the newspaper headline reading, Omar ushers in Palestinian state? So let's summarize that. So if Iran starts selling oil for gold, it could drop the value of the dollar. If Trump comes out with his Middle East peace plan, and if it does, in fact, split any part of Israel on June 5th, is when they're supposed to be releasing it, We could very easily see a newspaper headline the very next day that says, Omer ushers in Palestinian state. The next day, America could see a New Madrid earthquake, as Shane Warren was shown. The next day, the newspaper headline could read, Catastrophe hits America. Well, that would fulfill 2 of the 4 points of Shane's vision. That would also fulfill 2 of the 4 parts of Leslie's prophecy. And of course, that would be, in fact, judgment on America. Then we would see 7-fold miracles in America as Shane Warren was shown. Then Prophecy Club would begin 7-fold miracle crusades in 100 cities all across America, as God shown me in a dream and in a vision. Now, let's look at this from another point of view. Currently, who are the nations that are angry at America? Okay, we just saw North Korea. Kim Jong-un just met with Putin, president of Russia, the guy that in the prophecy destroys America. Putin just met with him. A couple of days later, Kim Jong-un comes back and he fires off 3 missiles. Shot across the bow, line in the sand. Is that saying that Kim Jong-un wants to be friends? Or could it be that Putin said, look it, we got this plan to take America down. It would be real helpful if you would just do everything you can to annoy and to cause problems and to distract President Trump from what we're doing behind the scenes. The U.S. just seized a North Korean cargo ship illegally transporting coal, breaking the sanction restrictions. So, in effect, we are almost at war with Korea now. The next day, America test-fired 2 missiles, one from a submarine, one from land. Is North Korea and America drawing lines in the sand? These are actually war words. These are words leading to a potential war. Okay, then what about Iran? Okay, so Iran, with the sanctions, basically Iran has a choice to either do as Trump tells them to do to get rid of their nuclear missiles, or they're going to war. That's the same thing he's doing with North Korea too. Now again, I like Trump, but if we're not righteous enough, and don't get me wrong, I'm for getting rid of evil where it is, wherever it is. But if our nation is not righteous enough for God to stand behind us, and if our nation has, to the contrary, a prophecy against it, saying that God is going to destroy it, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, mourning, and famine. And she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. Why? Because she's become the habitation of devils, the hold of every foul spirit, the cage of every unclean and hateful bird, because she says, I'm rich, and increase with goods, and have need of nothing, and knowest not that thou art wretched, and miserable, and poor, and blind, and naked. So I don't believe that America is righteous enough to withstand this. Basically, we're almost at war. We have just sent a USS Lincoln carrier strike group. That's an aircraft carrier and 10 more destroyers, 10 more boats, plus a bunch of B-52s, all off to the shores just off of Iran. We are almost at war with Iran. We are almost at war with North Korea. And we're almost, and this is a whole other topic, at war on our southern border. Mexico is allowing illegals to flood into America, and it is also making war materials for Russia. Then, of course, we have Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, and America has now cut their funding off, and they are sending, well, you'd have to say, military-age males into America. And some of them are sneaking and getting in. So what's to say at a certain point when a certain event happens that they don't have a certain place to show up where they are all of a sudden outfitted with grenades and rocket launchers and AK-47s to go in to attack America? What's saying that that doesn't happen? We also have Cubans coming across doing the same thing. So we are basically at 3 wars right now. We're almost at war with North Korea. We're almost at war with Iran. We're almost at war with Mexico, Venezuela, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua. I mean, in short, America's enemies, just like the prophecies say, that will all be lined up to fulfill the prophecies at the fall of America. In other words, brothers and sisters, everything is set. We can see that if Iran starts trading oil for gold, that could very easily cause the nations not to need the dollar, start flushing the world with dollars. Then if Trump comes along, and if this June 5th Middle East peace plan does in fact part Israel, all of a sudden we could see the newspaper headline that says Omar ushers in Palestinian state. And then, of course, if we split Israel, God is going to split America. The next day, we could very easily expect to see a new Madrid earthquake, just as Shane Warren was shown in his vision. And that would probably bring on the newspaper headline, Catastrophe Hits America. And that would already fulfill 2 of the 4 points of Shane's prophecy, maybe even more than that. And then 2 of the 4 parts of Leslie's prophecy would be fulfilled. Of course, that would be called Judgment on America. Then the 7-fold miracles would break out, as I said, and all of a sudden we are in the end times. In other words, in the next 4 to 6 weeks, America could be in a very, very different world. We've got war on all kinds of fronts right now. Now, what's America's response? Well, Tiger Woods was just given a medal by President Trump. The Boston Red Sox were just welcomed at the White House. The Kentucky Derby winner was disqualified. America does not understand what time it is. We are nowhere close to understanding what's going on, which is why I think you ought to get my book, so that you can begin to understand, to be able to give an answer when your brothers and sisters, your friends, your neighbors begin to ask questions. You can give them an answer about the last days. So I'd recommend you get my book here. Let me tell you more about it. In 2017, I memorized the book of Revelation just as a simple project. Surprisingly, I began to receive information on 30 revelations and 2 visions beyond what is found in the Bible. God showed me a secret door, which is based upon a single word found in Revelation and Leviticus, linking the feasts to the prophecies. When linked, a person enters into an understanding of Bible prophecy not previously known. Even though I've been in the world of Bible prophecy for 40 years, frankly, I did not know anything of what is in this book. One prophetic word described it this way: there is a lock that I have put over a word in the book of Revelation that I'm going to open to you. It will turn so many books written on the end-time message into obsolete books. That's this book. Topics are: Jesus returns on what feast? The secret of the feasts. Who are the 2 witnesses? What is the morning star? The judgment seat explained. The great white throne explained. The nations explained. What is the shout? And the parables explained. Seals, trumpets, and vials go in what order? 2 amazing prophecy charts on the back flap, 12 inches by 9 inches. Imagine a book on prophecy that brings a fresh, new, accurate perspective. I don't want you to get 1 book for $20. I want you to get 5 books for $30 or 10 for $55. It's called The Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy, available at prophecyclub.com. The Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy. 1 for $20. No, don't do that. You want to get 5 for $30 or the best deal, 10 for $55. prophecyclub.com. Leslie and I have accepted an invitation to speak and minister at a conference in Malaysia. We know it is a test to see if we're willing to lose money to minister to people on the other side of the earth at a loss. With your help and the help of God, we will be successful. We've already charged the $20,000 in tickets on our credit card for us and our assistants to go. We want you to go with us, at least spiritually. We want you to share in the fruit of our labors by sharing in the estimated $25,000 in expenses to go and take the gospel and Bible prophecy to the other side of the earth. Go to prophecyclub.com. You can also support us by texting the word prophecy to 444-999 and follow the prompts. We're going May 18th through June 5th. Support us at prophecyclub.com or text prophecy to 444-999. Follow the prompts. Message data rates may apply. At watchprophecyclub.com, you can have instant access to over 200 titles on a recurring monthly subscription of $20 or yearly for $200 at watchprophecyclub.com. That's $6,000 worth of information at watchprophecyclub.com. That's watchprophecyclub.com. What a deal.